Hey, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter when you may catch this particular broadcast. Out to these pels are here. Your voice manager. I unmute the voice of women who are ready to speak up about what has kept her silent for way too long. Yes, I know. I know. We going into week 4, week 5 for some of y'all, week 3 for some of you. And man, it's been rough, y'all. Let's be real. It's been rough. But I want to give you a word of wisdom that's going to take you throughout this week. Uh, don't forget where you came from. Yeah. hmm That same word of wisdom that came from your mama and your grandmama as you was preparing to go to college, as you were preparing to go start working, as whatever it is that you were preparing to do. Remember that statement? Don't forget where you came from. And it's interesting because I know oftentimes we have this plan, and let's be real, let's be honest. 2020 is not going according to plan. Am I the only one that believes that? Right now, 2020 is not going according to our plan. It's not going according to what we put on paper. Okay. Some of y'all didn't already said you're ready to cancel 2020. Some of you you didn't already said you're ready to go back and talk to 2020 and say, hey, listen here. Hey, with all this virus stuff. I get it. I understand. But this is the moment where I want you not to forget where you came from. And it was interesting. I did an interview at 7 o'clock this morning. Yes, it was. Yeah, that part. I was really hyped to do it. But I did an interview, podcast interview at 7 o'clock this morning. And I said, things that we went through before prepared us for what we're going through right now. And if we're so focused on the fact that we have to stay inside, if we're so focused on the fact that we can't do what was on our vision board, if we're so focused on the fact that things have changed, then we forgot where we came from. That part. And unfortunately, I think that's where a lot of people are, is we're in this moment where we can't get our footing, where we don't know which direction to go in. We're scared to move forward. We're scared. Like, there are people that are scared to launch right now. There are people that are scared to write. They have this anxiety. They have writer's block. They're going through so much. And I have to keep going back and saying, don't forget where you came from. What was the opposition you went through when you wrote your first book? No, it may not have been coronavirus. It may have been something else. And so even when I was thinking about, you know, everything that we've been through with me and my family, the homelessness, the molestation, divorce, my mother passing away, all of these different things. I'm like, wow, there's lessons that I learned in those seasons that I can use right now. And I want to even put it to you like this. Some of you, it's the recipes that you learned. Y'all better catch this. It's the recipes that you learned when you had a little that can be the recipes that you use to make a lot. Oh, y'all better catch it. Listen. It's the recipes that you made when you had a little. It's the cakes, the homemade baked cakes that people were making at one point when they had a little that can create the business that can take you to another level and give you a lot. It is the cookie recipe. It is the soup recipe. It is the recipe for starting a business. Some of y'all may need to go back and reread the book, $100 Startup. Some of you, this is your season. Don't forget where you came from. What did that look like? What did it feel like? And so I went back and I said, when I published my first book, I was still technically homeless. When I rebranded my business, it was in the midst of being homeless. And so where is that tenacity? I don't know if y'all with me this morning. I don't know if it's too early for y'all because y'all have been home, so y'all have been sleeping later. I understand. But where is your tenacity? Where is your fire? Where is your drive? Have you forgotten where you came from? Did you forget that there were moments where in the beginning when you started that you ate ramen for 3 weeks in order to get things done? Did you forget that you went and you made peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in order for you to be able to survive and get things done? Did you forget that you bootstrapped it and got things done with your own finances in order for you to publish the first book? Did you forget what you did to get started? What was that for you? What was that thing that you did that got you motivated? What was that thing that you did? Maybe it was that you went for a walk every day. Well, get back to walking every day. You got time. Come on. You got time and opportunity. Don't forget where you came from. And I always got to go back to looking at my first job. And so this part is going to be real funny, y'all. Just hear me out. So my first job, I was a combination of things. I was still in high school, but I was an elf. Don't judge me. Don't y'all put no short jokes in the comments. No tea, no shade. Okay. I was an elf. And I was taking pictures at the mall because my mother was running the booth for Santa and the Easter Bunny. And so I would be the person helping to take pictures and helping to make sure kids don't cry and spaz out and all of that stuff, right? I was serving in that capacity. It's interesting because I was coming alongside of her and doing administration work even before I knew what administration work was. The people that I have helped and served, I've come alongside of them and done administration help. Don't forget where you came from. So even if there's no live events, I already have trainings on how to do telesummits. I literally have them in my digital store. And if somebody needs them, they can come to me and I can send them the link. Stop forgetting where you come from. I was doing digital virtual summits before this. I remember doing teleconferences on the phone, guys. Stop forgetting where you come from because what happens is when we forget where we come from, we miss out on three major things. We miss out on favor, we miss out on protection and provision. Because see, the things that we learned created an atmosphere of favor because we knew and understood something that other people did not know. What we knew and what we understood and what we learned, it created protection for us. Because in moments like this, I've still done speaking events. I just did the Power Players Virtual Summit this past weekend. And guess what? This is the thing. In a moment where technology wasn't working and we weren't able to live stream it, I already had the idea of what could be done and gave it to them and told them, well, this is what we can do instead. And it even works out better on our behalf because we can add X, Y, and Z. Guys, sometimes the shift that's needed is the shift within our own minds. Sometimes the shift that's needed is the shift within our own minds. What's the conversation that you're having with yourself? Because guess what? If some of you, if you go back to who you were 10 years ago, there's something there that can help you right now. If you go back to who you were 5 years ago, there's something there that can help you right now. Good morning. If you go back 2 years ago, there's something there that can help you right now. Don't forget where you came from. Don't forget where you came from. Come on, right? We came from making something out of nothing. We came from doing a lot with a little. We came from being able to creatively make sure that our families had. Why have we gotten stuck in looking for the hand out instead of the hand up? I don't know if y'all hearing me this morning. I know, look, right? Come on. Why have we gotten so accustomed to looking for the hand out instead of the hand up? Guys, this is our moment. Go back. Who are you? Where did you come from? What is it that you know how to do? What information is it that you know? One of my clients was talking about how, the information that she knew and something she had been doing for years prepared her for such a time as this to be able to help other business owners. Guys, I heard somebody say people aren't shopping right now. And then a couple days after that, I went to put in an Instacart order. And because of how many orders are coming in, they said they wouldn't be able to fulfill my order until the next day. It's not that people are not shopping. People are shopping. Are you providing what they need? And sometimes that means going back into what it is that you learned, is going back. How did you get through college? Y'all better come on. That anxiety that you had in college, that anxiety that you had in high school, how did you get through that? Because right now, it's college students and high school students that need your voice. They need you to be unmuted about what you endured. It's time to take off the makeup. It's time to take off the facade. It's time to take off all of that. It's time for you to show up. Good morning. It's time for you to show up. Because the reality is that there's somebody that needs you. And you already have it on the inside of you. You do. You have it on the inside of you. And while you hold on to it, that's the thing that could be making you the money you need before a stimulus check comes. That's the money that you could be using right now. Come on, right? That's the money that you could be using right now. Don't forget where you came from. So I was reading Ruth this morning. And, it was interesting because I was looking at how Ruth and Oprah both had an opportunity to go back to where they came from. Y'all better, y'all better catch this. Sometimes for some people, going back is a matter of going back is a matter of being comfortable. It's a safety, it's a security blanket. It's a safe place for them. I'm not saying go back to where you were. I'm saying remember, don't forget where you came from. Because when you forget where you came from, it makes you unable to move forward at a full capacity. See, Ruth looked back and said, I know where I came from, but that's not where I'm going. Where I came from was there. But when I married into this, you became an attachment to me. And so I want to serve you. I want to make sure that you're taken care of. They're okay. I know where I came from. I want to move forward. And so my question to you is, when you look through this week, if you're working from home, if you're not working at all, if you're homeschooling, if you've gotten stuck mentally, emotionally, when you look at where you came from, what's that inspiration that will make you push past where we are right now? Because remember where she was in that moment, she was in mourning. How many people can relate to that right now? How many people can relate to that right now? Where she was in mourning. And so here it is, she has the opportunity to say, even in the midst of what I'm going through, I know what's back there. I know what I endured. I know where I came from, but I want to move forward. And so I'm going to use that as my motivation for me to move forward. And sometimes that means that you hear what other people are saying, and other people may tell you that the future looks grim, and because guess what? No, Naomi was going through her own things. She even changed her name and said, because the Lord has dealt harshly with me. But this is the thing: when you step into being Ruth, yeah, I hear what you're saying, Naomi, and I see what's going on. But can we go past sight into vision? Can we go past what we see? And so when we think about back, when we went to college, when we left home for the first time, don't forget where you came from. Meant, hey, there were some things ingrained in you. There were some conversations we had. There was some butt whoopings you received. There was some ideas that we expressed and things that you need on this journey. Don't forget those things. You don't have to come back to where you were. Just don't forget those things. Because when you don't forget those things, that's going to be what pushes you past where you are. I don't know about you, but this is temporary. This is temporary. And so going back and thinking about how I pushed through when I was trying to, finish my college courses, and I was pregnant when, oh my goodness, the homelessness happened, when, my mother passed away. When I think about all of those things that I endured, when I think about all of those things that make up where I am right now, I think about the lessons and how it can push me forward. I know, I know you're stressed. I know many of you, just getting up out the bed is becoming harder and harder. I need you to shift. I need you to shift. I need you to shift because I need you to understand that this is temporary. This space that you're in right now is temporary. What we're dealing with right now with the coronavirus is temporary. It will come to an end at some point. It's temporary. And we don't need to know when the shift is going to happen, but we know that it will shift out of this. My question to you is, will you be ready when things shift? Are you preparing yourself? And so I was talking to my clients, and I was telling them about what we've been able to do with them earlier on to get to this point. And I said, man, you guys have been prepared for this. I'm watching them still move forward. I'm watching them still thrive. I'm watching them not have to do any uh strange things for change. Okay. So I'm watching all this and I'm going, it's because we're not forgetting where we came from. They got it. They caught a hold of it and they're holding on with both hands tight. So guys, I wanted to give you guys this message because 2020 does not look the way that we planned. It doesn't look like what you put on your vision board. It doesn't look like what you talked about in 2019 for this year. It doesn't look like any of those things. But don't forget where you came from. That same tenacity that you had back then can be the same tenacity that can get you through now. Tap into that thing. I'm super excited. Like I told you this morning, I did a podcast interview. I'll give you guys more information about that when it comes out. I'll post it on the page. Um, I need y'all to show up for yourselves. Like I know people again are looking for help and by any means necessary, but I need y'all to help you. Or as I tell my clients, I need you to do a coaching session with yourself. How will you serve you? How will you help yourself in a moment, where you need to get readjusted? You need to shift. I appreciate you guys, though. I am super excited. Again, come join the conversation over in the free group. It's been growing and engaging. And man, I absolutely love the conversations that are going on over there. bit.ly/World Voice Community. It's absolutely free. Look for even more stuff coming because guess what? We got greater things coming, guys. It's not the end. But I do need you to have that understanding. And until next time, guys, I appreciate you. Don't forget to press it out. See ya.